Aloha. My name is Jackson Sayama, and I'm running to be the next state senator for District 10. Being born and raised in this district, it's been an honor to serve my neighbors in the State House of Representatives for the past 6 years. As a representative, I've listened to our constituents to introduce and pass legislation on community priorities like cracking down on catalytic converter thefts and establishing surfing as an interscholastic sport. I've also secured over $35 million for our schools, passed a historic tax break for working families, and served as chair of the Labor Committee to expand the state's workforce development pipeline. Outside of the Capitol, I've worked together with neighbors to clean up our parks, support our businesses, and celebrate our amazing community. But despite all the progress we made, we still face extraordinary challenges: rising costs of living, unaffordable housing, and increasing dangers from natural disasters. Our district deserves a state senator who will actually engage the community and legislature to solve these generational issues, not just with the same old approach, but with new solutions that adopt the best from innovation and are grounded in our cultural values. As your state senator, I will push to develop affordable housing on underutilized state lands, establish a paid family leave program, and work with communities to improve our disaster readiness. Together, let's build a stronger Hawaii, one we could be proud of and thrive in. My name is Jackson Sayama, and I humbly ask for your vote for State Senate. Thank you.
Aloha, my name is James Logue, and I'm running for Hawaii State Senate, District 13. I'm running because I believe Hawaii's families deserve a government that works for them, respects taxpayers, protects our communities, and helps make it possible for local families to stay here. I came to Hawaii when I was 20 years old. Now, at 41, I've spent my entire adult life here. Hawaii is where I served in the military, built my career, became part of the community, and where my wife and I are raising our son. This is my home. As a father, I think every day about the future my son and future generations will inherit. I want Hawaii to remain a place where working families can afford to live, where kupuna are respected and cared for, and where communities are safe, strong, and connected. But right now, too many people are struggling. Families are being crushed by the rising cost of housing, groceries, utilities, insurance, and healthcare. Young people are wondering if they can even afford to stay in Hawaii, and many kupuna and retirees on fixed incomes are being pushed to the brink. Condo owners are also being hit hard by rising maintenance fees, insurance costs, special assessments, and repair expenses. Many local families and seniors who work their entire lives to own a home are worried whether they can even afford to stay in it. And too often, the government's answer is to ask taxpayers for more. I believe this has to stop. My position is simple: no new or increased taxes or fees on working families, kupuna, and residents already struggling to make ends meet. Before government asks for one more dollar, it must prove the money we already pay is being spent honestly, responsibly, and efficiently. That belief comes from my experience. As a former state special investigator, I investigated fraud, waste, and abuse involving public resources. I saw firsthand how systems can fail and how corruption and mismanagement hurt the very people government is supposed to help. That is why government accountability is at the center of my campaign. I also currently serve as Deputy Director of the Hawaii National Guard Youth Challenge Academy, where I help lead a program that gives young people discipline, education, mentorship, and a second chance. That work has shown me the importance of accountability, structure, and opportunity. When we invest in people and give them real pathways forward, lives can change. I am also a combat veteran and former U.S. Army military police officer. My time in uniform taught me leadership, discipline, and how to make decisions under pressure. Public safety is personal to me. Families deserve safe neighborhoods. Small businesses deserve protection from crime and theft. Kupuna deserve to feel safe in their homes and communities. We need to support law enforcement, hold repeat offenders accountable, and address the deeper issues driving homelessness, addiction, and mental illness, through long-term treatment and real solutions, not just temporary fixes. We also need affordable housing policies that put local residents first. Too many families are being forced out of Hawaii because they simply cannot afford to live here anymore. At the heart of this campaign is a simple belief: Hawaii families first. We do not have a big political machine behind us. We have working class families, parents, veterans, kupuna, small business owners, and grassroots supporters who believe Hawaii deserves better. I'm not running to become a career politician. I'm running because service has defined my life as a soldier, investigator, public servant, youth mentor, husband, and father. As your state senator, I will fight for government accountability, safer communities, affordable housing, and stronger support for kupuna and Hawaii, where local families can build a future. My name is James Logue, and I would be honored to earn your support for Hawaii State Senate District 13. Mahalo, and God bless Hawaii.
Aloha. My name is Tricia Nakamatsu, and I'm running for the Hawaii State Senate to represent District 13. This district isn't just where I live, this is home. My great-grandparents bought our family house in 1948, and today, my 2 young boys are the 5th generation of our family to call this community home. I'm running because I believe our government should work for the people, and because our communities deserve leadership that listens, collaborates, and delivers real results. I grew up in a hard-working, multi-generational household of proud Japanese, Chinese, and Okinawan heritage. I started working when I was 15 years old, worked 3 jobs to pay for college, and continued working while earning my law degree. Now, as a mom, working mom of 2 young boys, I face the same challenges that many of our local families face every day, from the rising cost of groceries, transportation, and housing, to concerns about public safety and the future Hawaii that our children will inherit. These life experiences have shaped my values. They taught me the importance of responsibility, perseverance, and making every dollar count. For the past 20 years, I've dedicated my career to serving the people of Hawaii as a Deputy Corporation Counsel, Deputy Prosecuting Attorney, and now Deputy Attorney General. For the last 15 years, I've served as both a prosecutor and a legislative liaison, bringing together community members, law enforcement, government agencies, businesses, and other stakeholders to solve problems and improve our laws. Working together, we've strengthened laws to crack down on illegal fireworks, combat agricultural crime, protect our kupuna, make our roads safer, and increase government accountability. These are very important issues to our neighbors and to our district. More recently, I've helped lead efforts to expand mental health and substance abuse treatment so people can get the services they need before they end up cycling through our criminal justice system, jails, or prisons. Throughout my career, I've learned that lasting solutions happen when people come together and actually talk to each other, look beyond the way things have always been done, and find new ways to work together and make positive changes. I've spent my career working behind the scenes to solve difficult problems that affect us and our safety. Now I'm ready to bring that same experience and work ethic directly to the legislature as your state senator. Public trust in government has been declining for years. I don't believe in politics for the sake of politics. I strongly believe in honesty, integrity, and transparency. Those qualities will bring us together to find thoughtful, common sense solutions that improve people's daily lives. I have the experience and proven track record to hit the ground running on day one. But just as importantly, I have the heart to serve. As I've spoken with residents throughout Senate District 13, I've heard many of the same concerns. Families are worried about affordability. They want to know that their children will be able to have bright futures here in Hawaii. They're also concerned about safety in our communities, whether that's dangerous speeding on our neighborhood streets, illegal fireworks, or the challenges surrounding homelessness and untreated mental illness. As your state senator, I'll focus on practical solutions to these and other real-life concerns. As your state senator, that means supporting more housing that local families can actually afford, diversifying our economy, strengthening our educational system. It also means improving pedestrian safety through projects like crosswalk beacons and traffic calming measures, expanding access to mental health and substance abuse treatment, strengthening public accountability, and ensuring our government is transparent and responsive. Yes, our District 13 is a remarkable and vibrant community. From downtown Chinatown and Iwile to Pālama, Liliha, and Pu'unui, Punchbowl, Paoa, Pacific Heights, Nu'uanu, and Dowsett Highlands. This is where my family has built our life for generations. It's where I've worked as a dedicated public servant for 20 years. It's where Kai and I are proud to be raising our children today. This community has been the cornerstone of livelihood for many generations, and serving as our next senator would be one of the greatest honors of my life. I humbly ask for your vote, and I look forward to working together with you to build a safer, more affordable, and stronger future for us all. Mahalo.
Aloha mai kako. My name is Jordan Kapono Nakamura, candidate for State Senate District 13, which includes Dowsett Highlands, Pu'unui, Nu'uanu, Liliha, Pacific Heights, Paoa, Punchbowl, Palama, Iwile, Chinatown, and Downtown. This seat has been held by outgoing Senator Carl Rhodes for the last decade, and I mahalo his legacy of remaining focused on integrity, ethics, and fighting for principled democratic collaboration. I'm running to bring new energy and vision rooted in our history, to take care of our families, residents, and kupuna, protect our aina, and create the solutions we need for our most pressing issues. I'm a Yonsei, fourth-generation native to the district, born and raised in Lower Nu'uanu, growing up in the same house my great-grandfather built. I've been a teacher, an environmental education program director, an organic farmer, and community organizer advocating for policy at the Capitol. And I'm ready to bring my on-the-ground experience to serve our people directly in the legislature. I've been going door to door speaking with neighbors all year, attending neighborhood board meetings and hearing the concerns and ideas from our incredibly diverse district. I've hosted events for community members where we listen and educate each other about the realities of what it's like to live in Hawaii today, what we want to protect, and where we want to go together. My campaign ran a survey for 2 months asking what priorities people had for the legislature and created our official platform built with the feedback we received and proposed policy for each of the top issues mentioned by participants. One of the top priorities is affordability of living. We are paying too much for rent, utilities, insurance premiums, property taxes, and basic needs like groceries. Parents are worried their kids can't stay or move back home, and renters in affordable housing experience severe rent hikes each year. Today, the average renter needs to earn $50 an hour just to afford a 2-bedroom. Well over half of Hawaii residents pay more than 30% of their income on housing costs. And today, 1 in 3 households are facing food insecurity. We need to get rid of the GE tax on essentials like groceries, diapers, and medicine. Our basic needs shouldn't be taxed like commodities. Instead, let's implement an empty homes tax on non-owner occupied units owned by out-of-state property holders to ease the burden on the housing market and lower costs for locals. As we incentivize filling empty units with full-time local residents, we can strengthen the regulation of monster homes, which has gained traction as an unpopular response to the housing market crisis that puts pressure on our neighborhoods. Across the district, homelessness and crime remains a concern. As legislators, we can support and help expand local resources like the John A. Burns Home Project to create more effective rapid response mobile care units. We can use revenue generated by closing tax loopholes on corporations and REITs to help subsidize housing and the allocation of trained social workers to sustainably combat homelessness. In Hawaii, we understand the value of caring for our seniors. In my own household, I know my grandparents are concerned about their care, which they still struggle to access the benefits of, especially these days when Medicare and other services are under threat from the federal government. As this becomes an out-of-pocket burden on most households, I'd propose the creation of a Hawaii Rainy Day Fund based on New Mexico's universal child care model just for kupuna. Lately, there has been a lot of valid concern about corruption in the government. We need to create bold protections against federal attacks on our rights and restructure power imbalances in our legislative process that breed corruption. I helped during the session to advocate for transparency bills like SB 2471, which curbed the influence of Citizens United dark money influence in our local elections. But we need to do more to keep corporate influence out of our politics. I'm one of only 33 candidates to have signed the Our Hawaii Pledge, committing to rejecting big money corporate donations. Genuine relationships are how things get done in Hawaii, and I'm also proud to be a mohoʻaina, a cohort of candidates and legislators committed to strategizing as a bloc to put people over profits, keeping locals home, protecting our rights and land, and who cannot be bought off. One thing that unites us is we all live on an island with a delicate ecosystem that gives us clean air and drinkable water. We've seen these fall under threat with overdevelopment, the Red Hill fuel spills affecting our largest aquifer, and rampant contamination that we all deserve protection from. My work in Aina restoration and sustainable agriculture drives my commitment and expertise to ensure the enforcement of our water code and Aina rights so we can enjoy a sustainable, safe, and clean Hawaii for generations. None of these solutions can happen without you. So please register to vote and tell your friends to vote this year in the primary. I would be honored to serve you and champion these issues as your senator. I'd humbly ask you to consider voting for me, Jordan Nakamura, in this election. And to find out more about my campaign, visit jordannakamura.com. Mahalo nui.
Aloha. My name is Lynn Vasquez. I was born at St. Francis Hospital 70 years ago. My parents, Mauro Asuncion, is from Batak, Ilocos Norte, and migrated to Hawaii with his parents and 3 siblings to Koloa, Kauai. My mother was born in Kalihi, Kauai. I was married to the late Conrado Boy Vasquez, a former Philippine boxing champion and super bantamweight champion of California. We have 3 children, Conrad, Ligaya, and the late Christy Lynn. I have 6 grandchildren. I remarried 18 years ago to PK De Lucerna, and we have a naughty but cute fur baby that we spoil. I can remember growing up in the A'ala community where my parents owned a grocery store next to Asia Theater. I used to play amongst all the buildings with the other children and also at the city and county park facility. I can remember the buildings and the stores all in my head as clear as day. The Simon stands, restaurants, and the other places where they put the water fountain used to have a store where they sold tools and everything you needed to fix things. And where the welfare office is on North King and Iwile used to be the major place to catch a long black taxi to go country. That was fun. Born and raised in this community, I went to school at Kaiulani, Kalakaua, and graduated at McKinley High School. I studied at Honolulu Community and Kapolani Community Colleges. We lived up Liliha Punui area when I graduated from high school. In the years that followed, I never left far from my roots. Always the Kalihi Palama, Chinatown, downtown girl, I stayed close to home. And in my decision to come back after living in Aiea over 15 years, we decided to come back and found Waiana Apartments, a place where I started over 70 years ago, walking and playing in the area. For the past 20 years, I have done my best to give what I can as a community member, volunteering as a neighborhood board member in Kalihi Palama, Lilia, and Aiea. Currently, I am vice chair for Kalihi Palama. I have distributed over 100,000 slippers in our state, started in our community at Mirroride Homes, where I raised my children 20 years ago, and eventually it grew. I've distributed to those who are underprivileged, especially children who needed it most. Anyone who came and asked, I never refuse. My quote, "To give from your heart, have nothing in return," is what it's all about. On this journey to seek the office of Senate District 13 is one I hope to win with your kukua. I am not a career politician. I am a wife, a mother, grandmother, auntie, your neighbor, the disabled, the lady who just wants to make sure something is done right in the legislature. I seek no fame. I only want to be someone who will make sure justice is prevailed. With me, nobody can control. I am not beholden to anyone except to God. Yes, I am a kidney dialysis patient. That doesn't stop me from performing my daily duties. I go to work Monday to Friday. I do whatever I have to do and still maintain a life. I am on the Arizona Mayo transplant list, and I'm waiting to be called. My platform is an easy one. I am ready to work with anyone who gets elected as a representative in District 28. 4 of them signed my nomination paper to run for this seat. I am honored that they did. As a senator, my priority will be to honor my daughter Christy in trying to put Christy's bill in reference to help parents and caretakers to get more leverage into admitting their loved ones into a hospital setting before they get into a critical stage. As it is now, our hands are tied. The laws need to be addressed so that others can live. We need to have more per-tax credits in food and health benefits for keki and kupuna. As a senior, we need rent control. For those only on Social Security, we need to make sure they are protected, period. I want to make sure nobody will ever be afraid or have to go without food to eat. We are in this together. A vote for me is a vote for you. To learn about my campaign or myself, please visit www.linforhawaii.com. Mahalo.
Aloha, I'm Donna Mercado Kim, and I've spent the greater part of my life serving the community that raised me. I was born, nurtured, and educated in Kalihi Public Schools, and a proud graduate of Farrington High School. The values I've learned growing up in Kalihi, hard work, honesty, respect, working together, and looking out for one another, have guided me throughout my entire career in public service. You know, people often ask me, why do you continue to serve after all these years? Well, the answer is simple. I've always had a strong need to correct the wrongs and stand up for people who feel they have nowhere else to turn. When individuals, families, employees, or communities believe they have been treated unfairly, they often seek me out because they know I will listen, ask questions, and most importantly, pursue the truth. Throughout my years in the legislature, I have never been afraid to question the status quo. I believe elected officials have a responsibility to ask tough questions, especially when taxpayers' dollars and public trust are at stake. That commitment has led me to investigate some of Hawaii's most controversial government failures, from the University of Hawaii's Wonder Blunder and airport management issues to procurement mistakes and questionable spending practices that cost taxpayers millions of dollars. These investigations were never about headlines. They were about accountability. Of course, asking tough questions and challenging powerful interests does not always make you popular. And throughout my career, there have been many times when individuals disagreed with my positions or were uncomfortable with the questions I've asked. Most recently, including this election, I've been the target of false and misleading attacks on social media. And while no one enjoys being criticized, I've learned that leadership requires staying focused on the facts, not distractions. I believe my record speaks for itself. The people who know me know I will always act with integrity, tell the truth, and put the interests of our community ahead of politics. And rather than responding to negativity with more negativity, I remain focused on the work of solving problems, helping people, and delivering results for the communities I serve. You know, government works best when it is transparent and accountable to the people it serves. Every dollar wasted is a dollar that cannot be spent on our schools, on public safety, housing, healthcare, or services for our seniors. As chair of the Senate Education Committee, I've also worked to improve public education, support teachers, and ensure that resources reach students and classrooms. I firmly believe that every child deserves the opportunity to succeed, regardless of where they live or their family's income. But public service is about more than investigations and oversight. It's about people. It's about you. It's about helping a family navigate government bureaucracy, advocating for a neighborhood improvement, supporting a local school, or assisting a senior who needs help accessing services. The most rewarding part of this job has always been solving problems and improving the lives of people I represent. Kalihi and Moana Loa have always been my home. I understand its challenges because I've lived them. I understand its strengths because I've witnessed them every day. Our community has shaped who I am. And everything I do is driven by my desire to give back to the place that gave me so much. At the end of the day, I want people to know that Donna Mercado Kim is someone who will fight for what is right, hold government accountable, protect taxpayers' dollars, and never forget where she came from or who she represents. I believe leadership means showing up, listening, solving problems, and standing with the people you serve. That is who I am, and that is why I continue to serve. I humbly ask for your continued support in this election. Mahalo.
There was a time when working families in Hawaii could build a life here and stay here. Today, too many local families are asking one question: can we afford to stay? Aloha. My name is Janel Fujinaka, and I'm running for State House to represent District 26, Makiki, Tantalus, Punchbowl, and Papakolea. I was born and raised on Oʻahu in a working class family that faced the same pressures many families face today. My father, Ray, served as a Navy reservist while working in construction. My mother, Allison, worked at Star Market and now serves our community through the TSA. Like many local families, there were times when money was tight. But my parents taught me lessons that have guided me my entire life. Work hard, give back, take care of your community, and never forget where you came from. Those values shaped who I am. They are why I chose a life of public service, and they are the reason I am running today. I'm running because I've watched too many local families pushed to the edge in a place they should be able to stay. I have watched friends, classmates, and young people leave Hawaii, not because they wanted to, but they had no choice. I have talked with kapuna who have worried that the neighborhoods they have helped build are slipping out of reach. And I'm going door to door in District 26. I hear the same concerns again and again. Housing is unaffordable. The cost of living keeps on rising. Public safety changed daily lives, and the government feels distant from the people it's supposed to serve. This is not abstract. This is reality for people right now. That is why I'm running, to be a voice for local residents who feel they are being left behind. Whether behind the wheel of a city bus, driving students to school, serving on the Makiki Neighborhood Board, or working at the state capitol, my focus has always been the same: serve people, solve problems, show up for the community. Before working in government, I spent years as a city and school bus driver. Every day I saw families here heading to work, students going to school, and kapuna staying connected to their communities. Most recently, I served as committee clerk at the state capitol with Representative Kim Koko Iamoto. That experience showed me how decisions are made and how important it is to have leaders who ask tough questions, challenge assumptions, and holds government accountable. As an at-large member in the Makiki Neighborhood Board, I've spent countless hours listening to residents and working on the issues affecting our neighborhoods. What I have learned is simple. People are not asking for more. They're asking for a fair shot. A fair shot of buying a home, a fair shot at raising a family, a fair shot at retiring with dignity, and a fair shot at staying here in Hawaii. That is what I will be fighting for. I will work to increase housing opportunities so local families can remain in the communities they love. I will support efforts to improve public safety and strengthen the quality of life in neighborhoods. I will advocate for strong public schools because every child deserves the chance to succeed. I will demand transparency and accountability because taxpayers deserve a government that delivers results. And I will work to protect Hawaii's future by investing in infrastructure, safeguarding natural resources, and ensuring the next generation has the same opportunities we're given. Public service should not be about status, access, or influence. It's about accountability. That is why I refuse corporate PAC money and why I'm the only candidate in this race who has signed the Our Hawaii Pledge. Not special interests, the people. I'm not a career politician. I am not part of a political family or political network. I come from the driver's seat of a school bus, from neighborhood meetings, and from the same working communities I'm running to represent. This campaign is not powered by insiders or special interest. It's powered by the neighborhoods, people in our communities, and the people who are tired of being left out of decisions about their lives as they are made without them in the room. I'm ready to show up, listen, fight for the people who are often too left out, for the decisions that shape their lives. At its heart, this election is about future of Hawaii. whether local families can afford to stay, whether our children can build a life here, and whether the government will finally put people before politics. I'm running because I love this place, and I refuse to watch it become unaffordable for the people who built it. I refuse to accept the next generation has to leave to build a future. This community raised me, it shaped my values, and it's given me the life I have committed to protecting for others. I would be honored to earn your vote for Hawaii State House District 26. Mahalo for your trust, your time, and your support. I'm Janel Fujinaka, and I'm ready to fight for Hawaii, where working families can afford to stay, raise a family, and build a future right here at home.
What kind of Hawaii do you want to leave for our keiki and grandchildren? Aloha, I'm Robyn McCreary. I'm running for State House Rep. District 26, which includes Makiki, Papakolea, Tantalus, and Lower Punchbowl. I have called Oʻahu home for 33 years. My husband, Kendall, and I live in Makiki. I am a small business owner. I volunteer, and I'm listening to the community's needs. The work I do is celebrations, event photography, capturing the joys of your life. Yes, a photographer, but I'm always challenging myself, and I decided to do Digitales, tell your video story, and hence this is how it was created. Also, part-time, I work for city and county as an usher. But business is not only the only part of me. I was a formerly I was on my condo board as a member, and seeing firsthand how rising cost affects the family and seniors. Some of my experience working with the board, I did budgets, contracting, insurance companies, and other things. But I'm seeing that the residents who are struggling to make ends meet is the worst part of it. Rotary. Rotary is my favorite part. Rotary has a motto, service above self. Those words have guided me through my life, along with the four-way test. 1, is it the truth? 2, is it fair to all concerned? 3, will it build goodwill and better friendship? 4, is it beneficial to all concerned? And our Rotary Club Waikiki added, is it fun? So for 18 years, I have been an active member of Rotary. Some of the projects that I worked on, we supported schools, families, seniors, our local and international communities. Currently, in my neighborhood, I'm working on a crossfire ministry and neighbors to put together and create a neighborhood watch. This will bring the neighbors together. We all will be watching out for one another. And in turn, it'll reduce crime and build a stronger sense of community. This is one of the reasons I'm running. Okay, my priorities. They're simple. 1, affordability. Helping families and seniors make it and stay here. Prices are so high. Owners and renters are paying so much on housing. We've got gas, we've got insurances. We don't even have enough money for fun. I want to make things happen so that you will be able to have some fun. 2, lowering taxes, reducing the burden of taxes on our food and medicine. This will completely happen. I mean, this would help so much. So we need to pass that bill. 3, safe neighborhoods, working with the community, residents, law enforcement, churches, nonprofit people, anybody to help stop the crime and make it a safer place for us. I believe that government works best when we listen to the people and then they serve them. I don't believe one person has all the answers. I think the best solution comes from listening, learning, and working together. Whether you're a Republican, Democrat, or Independent, we all want safe neighborhoods, good schools, affordability, living comfortably, good opportunities, and for our families. And also keeping the young people here. They're leaving because they can't find a way to make ends meet. We need our kids here. That's our future. So I'm going to leave you with the same question I answered before. What kind of Hawaii do you want to leave for the next generation? Come, let's make Hawaii better, just like 33 years ago when we didn't have to lock the doors or anything. I would be honored to have your support. So mahalo for your time. God bless you, your family, and our beautiful Hawaii.
Aloha, my name is Ian Ross, Democratic candidate running for State House District 26, Makiki, Punchbowl, Papakolea, and Tantalus. I was born in Makiki, and I was raised by a single mom who instilled in me the importance of serving others. I graduated from the University of Hawaii at Manoa with a degree in economics, and I built my life here in Makiki, and I care deeply for this community. For 8 years, I served on our neighborhood board, including 5 as chair. And during that time, I worked on issues that you brought forward: dangerous intersections, illegal game rooms, homelessness, improving parks, and major development projects that needed real community input. I worked with our local electeds to install an all-way stop at the dangerous 5-way intersection of Prospect, Iolani, and Alapai, as well as Dominus and Poki. I've worked with our elected officials and city agencies to get an all-way stop installed there as well. When illegal game rooms were hurting neighborhoods across our island, I helped build community support for stronger enforcement. That helped shut down most of the illegal game rooms in our area. And when residents wanted more usable public spaces, I worked with the city to create Makiki's first off-leash dog park, as well as identify more parks to be designated as on-leash and dog-friendly. I want to continue the service to you as our next state representative. As a community, we're facing some very difficult issues. Most of the people I talk to at the door have similar concerns. They want to know if their family can afford to live here any longer, if they'll have access to quality health care when they need it, and if their children will receive a good education. They also want to ask if they can trust the people making policy decisions for them. Affordability, healthcare, education, and accountability. That's what our campaign is about, and here's why I'm asking for your vote. On affordability, we're all feeling the squeeze. Local families are being priced out by rising costs in housing, insurance, groceries, energy, and childcare. We can take real action, and I support building truly affordable housing for our local families, expanding state programs to stabilize condo insurance costs, providing stable funding for the Department of Hawaiian Homelands, and bring down that wait list. Expanding renewable energy. We can do this by speeding up processing times for permits and reestablishing the tax credits for solar. Investing in childcare, senior care, and higher education so that families have the opportunity to stay here. For 6 years now, I've worked in public health, first at the Alzheimer's Association and now as the Public Affairs Director for the Waianae Coast Comprehensive Health Center. During this time, I've worked with doctors, nurses, caregivers, and patient advocates. Good public policy makes our community stronger. It shows up in our doctor's appointments, our finances, our family's future. At the Capitol, I pushed for more doctor and nurse residency programs. I fought to protect Medicaid and private insurance affordability, supported family caregivers, and policies that help our kupuna age with dignity. I've worked on this professionally, and I've also lived it in my own life when my mom was diagnosed with dementia. During that time, I've learned firsthand the challenges that kupuna face: mountains of paperwork, endless delays, medical staff shortages affecting wait times, and inadequate health insurance, all while suffering and waiting for the care that our loved ones need. But we also need to look to the next generation as well. The future of this district depends on education, and that means better supporting our schools and the teachers who work there. So I'll support legislation to create teacher housing, provide free school lunches, and provide mental health support for students. I want to make sure we achieve the goal of universal pre-K so that every keiki has a strong start to life. And all of this is going to depend on making sure our state government serves the people, not special interests. And that comes with stronger ethics rules, fewer backroom deals, and real consequences for corruption. Because when the people stop trusting their government, They stop believing it can fix anything. So I'll fight to bring back transparency and trust to the legislature. This is an open seat for the first time in 2 decades. You have an important decision to make. I believe that District 26 deserves someone from this community who has served it and who understands both our neighborhood concerns as well as state policy. My name is Ian Ross. I'm running for State House District 26, and I humbly ask for your vote this August 8th and November 3rd. Mahalo.
Aloha, my name is Tony Silva, and I'm running for District 26, State House Representative. It's an honor and a privilege to be here in front of you. Just to give you a little background on myself, I was born and raised local boy on the North Shore of Hawaii in a small town of Hauula. There, stayed till about 5th, 6th grade, and then over the next 4 or 5 years, I would be moving around the islands of Oʻahu to 6 different schools, which was incredible because in moving around, you have to get to know people very quickly, and that kind of helped to shape who I am and what I'm about. For those of you that know me, I'm also part of the Brothers and Friends on Spectrum OC16. Big mahalo to my partner. Been doing that for 30 years. And that's been an incredible ride. In fact, comedy is still a part of our lives. But I'm sure that most of you are wondering, why? Why are you running for, state office? And quite frankly, it's my wife and my daughter. My daughter's 2.5 years old. We walk around our Makiki area. And please keep in mind, we represent Makiki, Punch Bowl, a little bit of Papakolea, and of course, Tantalus. And in walking around in our area, our town, I've been able to see a lot over the past 7 years, and that includes our parks. We love to take our dog to the park as well, and talking to some of our neighbors around the town. And in doing so, I realized that we have some issues there. One being homeless. A lot of people don't know that I grew up in Hauula, and I come from a homeless part of time in that we would be camping at these parks for 3 months and realize every time we come out of the 3-month camping period, we would be at a different house. And that went on for about 3 or 4 years throughout the years. So my ability to approach and talk with people is unmatched. I've been able to do it over the last 30 years in working with various communities around the state, working with different nonprofits, and of course, making sure that things are kept kind of light, tongue-in-cheek, and making sure that when people I engage with, family members and friends from around the communities, that when they leave me, they leave in a much better space, a much better mindset. I had the privilege and honor of meeting at a fairly young age, coming out of high school, a young lady by the name of Maya Angelou in Puerto Rico. We're doing a little performance there. And I remember sitting next to her, and I had no idea who she was until a friend told me. But I remember her saying, you know what, Tony, you're going to speak to a lot of people. You're going to speak into their lives, and you're going to be able to transform them in a way that you'll be a great leader. I didn't know what she meant by that. I didn't know about the brothers happening that would happen years after that. I didn't know that I would be in front of hundreds, if not thousands of people speaking to different communities and helping them maybe during certain crises. I didn't realize any of that. But she did tell me this. She said, no matter what you say and how you say it, they might not remember everything that you say, but they're always going to remember how you made them feel. And that has stayed with me for a long time. So as I approach this campaign, that's the number one thing in my thought process, is to make sure that when I talk and knock at your door, and I will, and you'll see me out there waving signs, that you know I have the very best in my mindset to represent our community. I always pray for our leaders throughout our state, and I'm very, very thankful for the people that have come before us. But I just think I bring a portion of government, in this case, working with people throughout the state and city and federal government as well. I just feel that I'm able to sit down and have a meaningful conversation with them to our needs and our wants within our community. And I'll leave you with this. If there's anything that you leave coming out of this portion, please understand that I want to represent you. I want to be a voice to the voiceless. And most importantly, for those that are currently in crisis and we're not in a crisis, I want to make sure that you can live comfortably in our community. Thank you for your time. A big mahalo to Olelo and the people behind the cameras and the scenes. I greatly appreciate you, and I greatly look for your support. TonySilvaHawaii.com. Mahalo.
Aloha, my name is Reno Abihai, and I'm a candidate for Hawaii State House District 28. I was born in Liliha across from Lanakila Elementary School, raised in Kalihi, in and around Mayor Wright's homes, and attended McKinley High School. Like many families in our community, my childhood wasn't always easy. There were periods during my teenage years when I experienced homelessness. And during those times, families in Kalihi and at Mayor Wright's homes opened their doors to me, treated me like one of their own, and helped me through some of the hardest moments of my life. I'll never forget that kindness because it helped shape the person I am today. Were there some rough times? Absolutely. But through those experiences, I've learned resilience, personal responsibility, and the value of community. I also made lifelong friends, many of whom I consider family to this day. I worked hard to rebuild my life and became the first college graduate in my family, earning a Bachelor of Business Administration from the University of Hawaii at Manoa with a concentration in Management Information Systems. After graduating, I joined IBM, where I spent 10 years managing technology projects. IBM gave me incredible opportunities to travel throughout the United States and to live and work in Japan and to work in Shanghai. Those experiences taught me how to solve complex problems, work with diverse teams, and deliver results on projects that affected thousands of people. After IBM, I continued my career with several of Hawaii's largest organizations as a program manager, project manager, and leader of project and program management offices. I led teams responsible for delivering high visibility strategic initiatives that improved operations and produced measurable results. For the past 25 years, my professional responsibility has been straightforward. Identify problems, develop practical solutions, bring people together, and ensure those solutions are delivered on time, within budget, and in a way that provides real value. Another important part of my work has been evaluating organizations and optimizing processes to eliminate inefficiencies, to improve performance, and often to reduce costs. Those are exactly the kinds of skills government needs if we're going to be good stewards of taxpayer dollars while delivering better services to our communities. Those are the same skills that I will bring to the state legislature. But my life has never been only about my career. For the past 10 years, I've been a boxing coach and mentor in Iwalei and Kapalama, serving underserved youth and young adults from high-risk communities, including Mayor Wright Homes, Kuhio Park Terrace, Kamehameha 4 Housing, Lanakila, and other neighborhoods throughout our district. Through boxing, I've helped develop young people to build discipline, confidence, accountability, and respect. I've watched kids overcome bullying, avoid gangs, and make healthier, more responsible decisions. Some have traveled out of state for the first time through our program, and others simply found someone who believed in them. And those experiences have been among the greatest accomplishments of my life. Our community deserves a representative who understands its challenges because they've lived them, who has spent years giving back before ever asking for a vote, and who has the professional experience to turn ideas into results. My priorities are clear. First, we must address homelessness and addiction by expanding treatment options, by improving coordination between agencies, and creating pathways that help people get back on their feet while also keeping neighborhoods clean and safe. I will support legislations that strengthens proven programs such as CORE and HONU and other evidence-based approaches that connect people with treatment, housing, and long-term support. Second, we must make Hawaii more affordable by increasing affordable and workforce housing, streamlining responsible development, supporting good-paying local jobs, and helping working families keep more of what they earned. Third, we must improve public safety by supporting law enforcement, investing in crime prevention, improving neighborhood infrastructure such as lighting, and expanding youth programs that help keep our keiki on the right path. As your state representative, I'll work on legislation that positively impacts each of these priorities. I believe government should focus on practical solutions that improve people's daily lives, and I spent a career delivering those kinds of solutions. With 25 years of professional experience, 10 years of giving back within this district, and a lifetime of connection to this community, I believe I am the right choice to serve as your state representative. I know this community. This community helped raise me, and this community knows me. I'm Reno Abihai, and I humbly ask for your vote.
Aloha, my name is Nadia Alves, and I'm running to represent District 28 in the Hawaii State House of Representatives. As a candidate, the first question you get asked is, why are you running? What makes you different from all the other people who are running? And how are you going to make a difference for me and my family? Well, I am an immigrant who moved to the United States when I was 12 years old. I grew up in a large, multi-generational working-class household with my mom, siblings, grandparents, cousins. So from a really young age, I was taught that you have to work really hard to get anywhere in life. And I've worked hard. When I was 13 years old, after school and on the weekends, I would take the bus with my mom, going from place to place, helping her clean different businesses from shopping center to shopping centers. My first paying job was as a cashier, making minimum wage at McDonald's. I have worked as a residential manager at a school with kids with neurological and behavioral disorders. I have been a preschool teacher, a community organizer, and more recently, I have worked as an office manager at the Hawaii State House of Representatives. But what I have come to learn, and what a lot of the hardworking people in District 28 know, is that there is no amount of work that can make up for a government that doesn't have our backs. We work and we work, but we're still struggling to keep roofs over our heads and food on the table. Working at the legislature, I see dozens and dozens of good bills that would help our working class people afford housing, pay for childcare, and care for our kupuna, but year after year, those bills either get watered down or fail to pass. And a big part of the reason why this is happening is that we have career legislators who are out of touch with the needs of our community and who have this attitude of, well, we can always try next year. That's why I'm running. While the legislature is busy waiting to try again next year, that's one more year of parents not knowing how they're going to afford daycare for their kids. One more year of a kupuna trying to ration out her medication because she can't afford to refill right now. One more year of our young people leaving our islands because they can't see a future for themselves here. I'm running because I believe we need legislators in office who will fight for our people, our community, not cater to corporate donors, large developers, and their lobbyists. I am the only candidate in the race for District 28 who has taken a pledge to reject campaign contribution from those type of special interests, because I want everyone to know that if I'm elected to the State House, I'm there for one reason and one reason only, and that's to serve the people of my community. Again, my name is Nadia Alves, and I'm asking for your vote in the Democratic primary on August 8th. If you'd like to learn more about me and what I hope to accomplish on behalf of our community, please visit nadiaforhawaii.com or give me a call at 808-398-6718. Mahalo.
Aloha mai kako, everyone. My name is Ernest Caravalho, and I'm running for State House District 28. Everyone asks me, why am I running for this district? I'm running for this district because I was born here. I was raised here. And I consider community to be very, very important to me. My ohana, my friends, my families, all of my community members, business members, and residents alike. That is who I work for. That is who I serve. I don't serve myself. I've been doing this for a long time. For a long time, I've been in this community for years that I can remember. I was born and raised here, like I said. I was born in a housing project. So I do understand what it's like to grow up from nothing and still struggle in everyday life, which all of us are still struggling today. So affordable housing is very important to me, because without affordable housing, we continue to see our people moving from here to Vegas or to California. For me, that's a non-starter. Our people shouldn't be forced out of their own homes. While people may call this paradise, this is our home. This is where we're born and raised. This is where we're from. And we must keep our people here. Education is very important to me. Educating our children is highly important because our children must be ready for the world stage. Our children are not ready today to compete on the world stage. Our education has fallen to a very, very low point that it is just unconscionable, unthinkable. We need to get that right. Another big thing for me is community safety. I live literally in Chinatown, so I get to see what's going on every single day because I don't just sit down as a board member that I was or as a Lions or anything else. I'm in the community, working in the community. I'm talking to those that are drug addicts, those are that alcoholics, just those that are homeless, who are homeless because they can't even afford a home. But the problem is people on the streets are making our residents afraid to walk our streets. That cannot be the case. Our residents and our visitors must feel safe within our community. And so therefore, safety of our community is also high on me. As I said, I was born here and raised here, so I'm very much invested in this community. I just retired after 5 years as chair of Neighborhood Board 13. 1 year I did as vice chair and 4 years as a member, so 10 years cumulatively. I'd like to tell you a story about why I got into service. I got into the service of our people and serving our people because one day while I was at paralegal school back on the mainland, I got a phone call from my sister-in-law. She said that she couldn't take it no more. She could not handle her kids. She could not raise the children anymore, and she needed me to come home for help. I talked to my professor. He was the head of the law department, and he knew exactly what I was going to do. I came home. I came home the very next day to raise his kids. I was given custody of the kid from the mother and the state, and I got to raise his kids, and I finally got to see them mature and grow. And now these are 3 fine young children who are on a successful level, moving forward with their lives, happy in their lives. Everybody asks, but you gave up your dream, because I wanted to be a lawyer. I was 7 credits away from graduating paralegal school and going to UCLA. I gave that all up. I gave that all up so that these children would have a chance to see their dreams. And that's what it's all about. It's not about me. It's not about us. It's about our future generations. And that is something that we need to think about. What do we want our Hawaii to look like? What do we want our Hawaii to look like for our children? And that is the most important thing, what we want it to look like. Remember, my name is Ernest Caravalho. I was born and raised here in Kalihi. I live in Chinatown. You can always visit my webpage at Caravalho for Hawaii, or you can call me anytime you want to. My information is out there on the internet. So please vote for Ernest Caravalho. Mahalo very much for your time.
Aloha, I'm John Mizuno. For more than 35 years, I've dedicated my life to serving the people of Hawaii. I proudly served 17 years as your state representative for House District 29. And most recently, I served as the state director working on housing solutions, homelessness, and affordable housing. After serving in the Green administration for more than 2 years, I've decided to return to what I enjoy most, representing the people of Kalihi and serving the families of Hawaii in the state legislature. I earned my law degree from Willamette University and my bachelor's degree from the University of Hawaii at Manoa. During my years in the legislature, I was honored to be recognized as Legislator of the Year 5 times. While those recognitions mean a great deal to me, what matters most is making a positive difference for our community. Throughout my career, I focus on delivering results. I worked with the federal government to stop other states from sending their homeless populations to Hawaii, helping to protect our limited resources for our local residents in need. I've also led legislation that kept all 35 Department of Human Services offices open, protecting essential health and human services for more than 300,000 people across our state. And as the chair of the House Health and Human Services Committee, I also helped pass the Our Care, Our Choice Act, giving adults greater freedom to make important medical decisions with their physicians, families, and faith communities without government interference. Today, Hawaii families are facing serious challenges. The cost of housing, groceries, utilities, and everyday living continues to rise, making it harder for many local families to stay in the islands they call home. If elected, my priorities are clear. First, we must lower the cost of living by providing meaningful tax relief for working and middle-class families. Second, we must increase affordable housing opportunities so local residents have a better chance to own or rent a home in Hawaii. We also need policies that discourage off-island speculation while creating more housing for our local families. Third, we must address homelessness and public safety with practical, long-term solutions. That means expanding supportive housing, improving access to mental health services, holding government accountable for results, and ensuring our communities remain safe. I also believe government must earn back the public's trust through greater transparency, accountability, and responsible use of taxpayer dollars. As we strengthen our economy, we must also protect the natural beauty that makes Hawaii unique. Smart tourism, environmental stewardship, disaster preparedness, and protecting our clean water are all essential to our future. Finally, I believe our children are Hawaii's greatest investment. Supporting education from preschool through college is one of the best investments we can make for the next generation. My promise to you is simple. I will always listen. I will always work hard. I will always treat people with respect, build partnerships, and bring people together to solve problems. If elected, my office will always be open to you and your family. I work for you, and I will always be accountable to the people of our district. It would be an honor to earn your trust and your vote. Mahalo.
Aloha. My name is Faatea. I'm a graduate of Farrington 1981. I'm running for the office of House of Representatives District 30 that represents Kalihi, Lower Kalihi, goes into part of Hikome Air Force Base. House of Representatives is an office that I feel that should be helping our community. And that's the reason why I'm running for House of Representatives. As a retired individual, I was enjoying life as a retiree. But I look at what's going on in our community. We have so much issues in our community. We are the most churches in any community. Kalihi has the most churches. And Kalihi also has the highest crime rate. It doesn't line up. Our youth, 70% of our children goes to Kalihi, Farrington High School graduate. So it tells you 30% of our kids are not graduating from high school. Adds to that, we just continue to have problem in our community. People are not having the confidence in themselves to go to college or even seek jobs because of they don't have that opportunity because they failed to try to get it when they were in school. Our kids from elementaries are 50% reading up to the grade point levels. Wow. So where do we go with our community? In order for Kalihi to sustain any betterment of this community, it has to come from Kalihi, the people in Kalihi. We have to stand up and do the best we can individually, every one of us. Let's not depend on the state or the city or anybody else to come in and help the community. It has to come from Kalihi. And that's why I'm running for office for House of Representatives, District 30. You know, like I say, Kalihi has the most churches in any community. We even have churches that are not registered. That's how much churches we have. We need their help to make a better community. We need the parents of Kalihi to be better parents, to love their kids, to hold their kids accountable to the decisions that they make. Hold everybody accountable, myself included. I'm a basketball, volleyball, sports coach for the kids of Kalihi Valley. I've been doing this since 1979 when I was in high school. A gentleman by the name of James Rathburn, who was a director of Kalihi Valley District Park, came and pulled my ears and told me to come and help coach the kids, that I can be a better person. I was hooked coaching the first team, and now I continue coaching the kids in our community. We have great kids. We have great people. John Burns said it once in one of his books that they wrote about this man, Governor John Burns, that Hawaii has the greatest youth in the world. All they needed is someone to spark the greatness out of them. So I ask you, Kalihi, spark the greatness of the kids in our community. For I believe only then our community will become a better Kalihi. Thank you very much.
Ano'ai Kealoha kākou. I'm Kekoa Kealoha, candidate for the Hawaii State House of Representatives for District 30, Kalihi, Kalihi Kai, Ke'ehi Lagoon, and Hickam Village. I'm a proud 2003 graduate of the Kamehameha Schools Kapalama. I grew up in Kohala on Hawaii Island, but I spent much of my childhood, most of my teenage years, and a lot of my adulthood in Kalihi. My roots in this community run deep. I was baptized at St. Elizabeth's Episcopal Church in Palama. I went to summer fun at Palama Settlement. I've walked through Campbell to catch their cold AC on the way to Camp Shopping Center, ate halenas at their original King Street location. And at every family function, I listened to my dad and most of my family sing the Farrington alma mater. I say all of this because a connection to this place, to this district, is important. I'm running for this seat because I know that life is hard and you need somebody who understands what families are going through every single day. My campaign has never been about politics, it's always been about people. For the last 11 years, I've worked in public health, health policy administration, direct service, and community advocacy. Every day, my job has been helping people navigate systems that weren't designed to be easy. I've worked alongside families trying to access healthcare, people facing housing instability, community organizations trying to stretch limited resources, and government agencies working to solve incredibly complicated problems. But before that, I worked in hospitality, restaurants, and retail. I know what it's like living paycheck to paycheck and working multiple jobs at once. I know what it's like wondering whether the bills can get paid on time this month. I know what it's like to work weekends, holidays, and doubles, something that so many of you in District 30 are also dealing with. Those experiences shaped how I see government. Government should make life easier, not harder. Over the last several months, I've spent a lot of time talking story with people all throughout this district, and while everyone has their own story, the themes have been remarkably consistent. Affordability, infrastructural improvement, corruption, safety. Almost all of us are experiencing disruptions to our daily lives because of construction happening all over our neighborhoods. Many of you are seeing development happening in ways that leave our disabled folks and kupuna further marginalized. Progress that doesn't include all of us isn't progress at all. But I also understand that there are systemic issues affecting our daily lives that are less flashy but incredibly important. Things like navigating bureaucracy, or what appropriations matter, or what goes into funding a robust Department of Education. What does it take to fill vacancies, or what does it take to make healthcare accessible? These are the issues where my particular skill set becomes useful. I feel your struggles because I live them too. I understand why you're frustrated. Importantly, I also understand the systems that cause your frustrations because I've had to learn how to maneuver through those systems myself. I can translate your frustrations into real policy efforts while helping you to understand the convoluted systems that complicate your daily life. That way, we can work together to find the solution that will make government work for you and not against you. My vision is simple: sustain the good things that make this district special and stimulate new community-centered growth. Keep Kalihi's character. Strengthen the state's relationship with Hickam. Be mindful and intentional about growth so that progress includes all of us. I'm a leader who listens first, and I want to continue listening to you. And when needed, I want you to hold me accountable. My campaign is not about what I get right and what others get wrong. It's about electing somebody who's willing to ask the right questions, do the work, and make sure your voice is at the center of every decision. That's what District 30 deserves. And if you choose to put your trust in me, I promise to work every day to earn it. I will advocate fiercely, communicate honestly, and always remember that this seat belongs to the people and not to the person elected to it. I'm Kekoa Kealoha, and I would be honored to earn your vote for Hawaii State House of Representatives for District 30. Mahalo piha ia o ko pakahia pauloa. Aloha.
My name is Amanda Ybanez. I'm running for House District 30, which is Kalihi Palama, Kalihi Kai, and Hickam. Who am I? I am you. I grew up in public housing in Palama, Lanakila. Born to a Filipino immigrant. I'm only the second in my family to be educated, and I'm the granddaughter of a plantation worker. I've been volunteering time and working hard for the people of Hawaii for over a decade. I've helped with labor union strikes in Waikiki with Local 5. I've walked and organized the strike line proudly with family and friends and won great contracts. I've attended neighborhood boards since 2010. I started off in Kahuku fighting for Turtle Bay workers to win a good contract for the community to keep the country. We won great labor contracts and the preservation of native Hawaiian marshlands on the North Shore. In 2012, I also was attending Waipahu Neighborhood Board so that I could know what the impacts of urban core Honolulu would be. Hence, I've been working for the people of Hawaii for a long time. Now, major concerns for our community in Kalihi, urban core Honolulu, are as follows. Cost of living. My vision is to build a sustainable local market by supporting and funding programs for local farmers and cattle ranchers in Hawaii. We need to also ensure self-sustainability and supporting the infrastructure like processing plants. All of this will produce great local jobs, local produce, and become our own business. We can then be self-sustainable and be a product and a main place of business in the Pacific. Affordable housing. I will be advocating for those with disability, kapuna, and for those who need a safe space to call home. I've been doing this the whole time by supporting kauhales. Community emergency disaster preparedness programs. This will have community outreach and ongoing education and training in strategic areas of urban core Honolulu and across Oʻahu. We have learned from the Lahaina fires and the Kona lows that it's the people in the community that rises up in the time of a disaster. We must support the people in the community and provide them with ongoing training to prepare them when disaster strikes. Public safety. All first responders are our community as well. When tragedy strikes, we usually take care of each other and malama each other. So let's support the first responders, whoever they are, because they are us as well. I will ensure that all first responders, including lifeguards, have fair contracts. I will be advocating for all of them because if they thrive, we thrive. I'm not running to be a career politician. I'm running because I love my community and I've always showed up when the time is needed. And that time is now. True leadership, volunteership, and sacrifice for the people of Hawaii is what I do best. And I'm asking for those that are watching to choose a different path than what we know now. To choose a community advocate and not a politician.
Aloha, State of Hawaii. My name is Angela Melody Young, and I'm the Republican Party candidate for the state representative seat in District 30. I arrived in the United States at the age of 6 years old and attended Ma'ema'e Elementary School. I understand the reality of learning a new language, the cost of living, and the need for quality educational programming in Hawaii to sustain economic opportunities for generations to come. My family was a struggling immigrant family fighting to live the American dream and to escape persecution from an oppressive government in China. For middle school and high school, I was blessed to have attended Hawaii Baptist Academy, and I still keep in touch with many of my classmates. So community, these are the topics that I'm going to fight to work on for you. Education. I've worked with many educational programs across the state. I have served on the planning team for 4 years, and I'm a co-chair of a statewide network preparing legislative proposals for the Keiki Caucus, organizing with 100 students every single year. If elected, I will continue fighting for the issues youth care about: menstrual equity, bullying, sexual abuse training at DOE schools, mental health, financial literacy for youth, environment, transportation, and so much more. I've debated for legislations to help teachers strengthen legislations for affordable workforce housing and to improve the quality of education at the Department of Education schools in Hawaii. Relating to the creative industries in music and film, it is an important focus for economic development here in Hawaii because it creates higher skilled jobs in design, media, broadcast, journalism, sound engineering, event coordination, stage management, fashion, modeling, teaching, and so much more. We need to focus resources on development of infrastructure in the entertainment industry to build studios, to keep our production teams busy so we can sustain active productions in the state. I'm excited for the Kapalama Kai Master Plan. Kamehameha Schools presented a long-term redevelopment vision for a 20-year urban transformation plan with a music studio incubator to be built in our district. My students who just had their first film premiere at the Hawaii International Film Festival is so excited for this plan so they can have fun jobs in the future. I lived for 6 years in Southern California, traveling back and forth from Hawaii to Los Angeles after high school, where I studied and worked with various production teams in the film, music, and the entertainment industry. I worked with producers who produced with the Grammys, the Disney, AC/DC, and the Oscars. I have been putting my knowledge into action to help debate for public policy to boost and elevate creative jobs for students, teachers, and for working class families. I helped fight for the bill to increase the film credit to $60 million and to set the real property tax funding structure in place to build a film studio valued at $100 million or more. I have many friends in the fashion, film, and music industry and have worked with various teams across the state, so I'm excited to collaborate our networks to focus on a common vision to provide for our communities. Relating to agriculture and economic development. People in Hawaii love to eat, and who doesn't love a good farmer's market? Working with Hawaii's agriculture industry, we can create sustainable jobs in food, restaurant, hospitality, and the hotel industries while transforming the way we support local farmers so we can encourage small businesses to work together while improving the quality of nutrition for our students and families. Our district has many small businesses. They're family-owned, passed down from generation to generation, and I'm here to support them. And if elected, I will legislate business grants with eligibility requirements that are more flexible to provide for businesses that accommodate vulnerable populations such as women and seniors, Native Hawaiians, and veterans. I will help to learn the barriers to accessing financial assets to help you be empowered to build equity. Relating to crime and public safety and homelessness. Well, these are topics I'm not afraid to tackle. With collaboration with citizen patrols and neighborhood security watches across the state, covering districts from Waianae to Kapalama, I've worked with many teams to organize walks led by gangsters and ex-convicts who have been convicted. They've now turned their lives around and are faithful believers of Jesus Christ. I help neighbors to be equipped with tools needed to respond to emergencies because the key to addressing public safety concerns is when neighbors are alert and know the correct procedures about how to contact and how to respond. Relating to the cat community concerns, building cat sanctuaries for kitties and investing in resources to fund the cat community's efforts in trap and neuter is an effective strategy to manage the concerns of the feral cat population crisis in Hawaii. To protect the indigenous species and to mitigate against harmful environmental impact, a plan for cat sanctuaries in coordination with nonprofits and businesses will help to alleviate the burden upon the state. For our military families watching, the veterans living in our community, well, you should know I'm in favor of accessing veterans benefits for those who have fought and defended our country. Our school, Pac Rim Christian University in this district, counsels veterans and those who are serving. So thank you. I hope that I have earned your trust and the genuine care that I have this community will help to improve the quality of life. So please vote for me.